Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Cross Studios here, and I'm here with my 5-year anniversary video. And I'm going to be reviewing my Lego Chen Steamboat today, and I've gotten countless requests to do this video. And it's a really big moment for me in 5 years on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting me to this moment. And it's definitely a big mark for how far I've gotten in my YouTube career. So we're going to get straight onto the figures, starting off this boat, so let's do that. Starting off our figures, we're going to do the villains first. You would probably get Klaus in the set since he was in the boat in the show. You can see you get Izor right there, and I just gave him a little sword. And I also put Slevin in the set, and I just gave him a little hat right there, so that's what they wore in the show, and he's just kind of steering the boat. The next three you get in the set are just basically the characters we've seen before, such as Kai, Lloyd, and also we have Sensei Garmadon right there as well. And then the last figures you get in the set are just some of the other elemental fighters in the show. And I have a video on that if you want to see that. It's on my channel. It's the Elemental Fighters review. And I have a detailed review of every single elemental fighter from the show. So in the set you get Jacob, Gravis, Ash, and Bo Lobo right here. So those are the four I decided to include in this set. The small model that you get in the set right here is just basically this little dock, and this is how they get onto the ship right here. You can see the little blue pieces I put right there, and this is where the actual little board piece hooks onto when you put it onto the boat. You can see some little crates right here with some little miscellaneous weapons. You've got a little trophy in here inside this one. I just put some little Lego coins, and they're just kind of some miscellaneous crates right there, so they're pretty cool. So we're going to move on to the actual boat. So here is the actual Chen Steamboat model, and you can see it's a pretty gigantic model. It's definitely my biggest Ninjago MOC I have done yet. And going around, you can see how many rails are on this thing. There's just a countless amount of those on here. And you can see how one of them just broke off. That's one of the flaws about the set. These aren't really held on very well, and I just wanted to prove that right there. Same thing with these torches. But basically going around this model, you can see there's a lot of nice details and such on here, such as the front right here. You can see how it's just kind of flat right there. Going around, you can see how there's like a little deck up here, which is pretty cool looking, and there's some crates up on the front. Moving around to the sides, obviously you can see these doors on here. They can obviously open up. Going on to the sides here is pretty cool. Then on the back is basically like the little motor or whatever right here. It's pretty cool. And moving back on this side is basically what you saw before. So we're going to start off at the bottom of the bottle. So taking a look at the bottom of the ship, you can see how I use a lot of these cool patterns right here. Basically just this little black piece at the top, and then all the rest is red going down. Thought that was a pretty cool looking design right there. Same thing with these little stairs going up to the doors. Obviously it's not completely accurate. It was a ladder in the show. Obviously it's kind of hard to do that and just get a little ladder right here. I don't really know how that would have worked. So I just put some stairs there, and I think it works out a lot better if it was an actual set. You see there's a lot of torches on this boat right here. There's some lights on the side right here with some little windows that came from other Ninjago sets, which look very cool. And you can see one of the playability features right here, how this kind of opens up. And this allows you to put this little board right here, which would probably come in the set. You just kind of put it right there, and then you can hook it onto the dock right there just with this little peg. Thought that looked pretty cool, so you can kind of put it on an angle or whatever you want to do. So it's pretty cool looking. It doesn't have to be just in kind of a boxy looking position, kind of like this. You know how it would normally be like that, but you can just kind of put it at an angle or whatever. So I thought that was a little cool playability feature I added to the set. And you can see how that kind of just opens and closes. Pretty easy feature. And then moving on right here, you got some crates. Inside here is just a little book. I think you can kind of see that. There's not really much in there. It's just a book right there. Then you can see I used a minifigure plate on this one just to give it a little variety. And I just put some like little coins and a little weapon in there. And you can see the front right here. There's not really a ton going on. There's a little bar right here just to hold on to, some railings. Obviously, there's not really a ton from the show that I can really base this off of. It wasn't really a huge part in the show. It's definitely a cool model, though. And turning it around, I'll show you this little inside area after. And moving on to the back, you can see some more details on the side, such as this yellow piece. I was going to make it so, like, basically you just kind of turn this and the little back part turned, but obviously that would be very hard to do, and I think it would kind of look a little too bulky on it. And also I don't have enough treads to do it either. But you can see how I put a lot of crates in the back right here, such as this one. There's a little horn in there. Obviously I'm not going to go through and show every single one, but they're pretty cool looking. On the back, you can see how this kind of spins right here. And when you put this on carpet, it does like spin with this piece, but obviously since it's on a hard surface, it doesn't really work. That's the only really flaw about this back part right here. I wish it did it on hard surfaces as well, but it was nearly impossible to do. So you just kind of spin it like this if you want to play around with it. You got some details back here, such as this little sticker and a light. You got a little punching bag if you want to. You got another crate right here. And turning it around, you can see there's just some support beams and stuff around here. And there's not really a ton going on at the bottom, and most of the action's on the inside of the upper deck. But we're going to take a look at basically the little inside right here, and then we'll move up. You can see one of the details inside here is just this little dragon pattern. You can kind of see it in the back. It's just a little dragon right there. Also moving around in the back, you can see how there's a lot of crates and stuff in there. I'll show you that a little bit later. There's actually a feature where you can actually get into there a bit easier. You can see how there's not really a ton going on in there since you can't really get in there very well. That's the only problem with the bottom. But obviously, what are you really going to expect? It's just a huge boat overall. And there's obviously a lot of playability you can do with outside of it too. Like right here, you can have guys running around and stuff like that. So, obviously, it's not that big of a problem. So it's pretty cool looking at the bottom, so we're going to move up to the second level. Starting up the second deck, you can see right here these windows I was showing you a bit earlier. You can see how this kind of just opens up right here, just these little green doors. And turning it around to the back deck right here, it looks pretty cool actually. I just put a couple of little gold patterns in there. They're not really much. Obviously this door can open up as well. And in order to get to that, you have to go inside here and then just exit out here. You can see this is where the punching bag is connected. It's pretty cool looking as well. If you didn't see that little green texture down there, it looks pretty cool, that little sticker. And you can see there's some torches right here, and this is where the part at the bottom connected to the little rotor. So it's pretty cool looking, and obviously you can see it's kind of like an overhead right here. I like the look of that. And so that's basically it for this little part. Turning it around, you can see I put some lights inside. I was thinking about making these guns, but obviously it's not really show accurate, so I just kind of left them as lights right there. And I think I showed you this earlier too. You get these little glass windows right here, which look pretty cool. Obviously the exit way is a little tiny right here, this little 2x2, or this little 2-stud exit way right here, but they can just kind of slide through if they really want to. It's not really that big of a deal. So we're going to take a look at the feature to actually get to the inside a bit easier. In order to get to the inside right here, you basically pull off this roof, which is just connected on by these studs in here, which is actually a very cool feature actually, because I wanted to make it so it's easily accessible, so basically I just made it so it can lift off. And another really cool feature right here is that basically you can just kind of remove this whole entire area out right here, and it's actually just a little inside area. And you can obviously pull it out a little bit easier with this piece as well, and you can see how that kind of just slides in there really easily, and it has the big engine or type of steam piece on there, which is pretty cool. So you can just kind of lift that off to get a lot better access to the inside. Going to the inside right here, you can see this is where that door leads to the deck right there. If you saw earlier, that's just where it leads to right there. Now, obviously I took that little section out which I showed you, which is basically this right here. And there's not really a ton going on here. There's a little torch, just a little switch right there. Not really too much on the inside. And moving to right here is where a bit more action is going on. You can see there's a little spinny chair right here. You could kind of fit, take a little Klaus minifigure right here. You could actually fit him inside. So you could just kind of sit him on that chair right there if you wanted to. You could talk about his evil plans. And you can kind of spin this around to this side. And there's actually a weapons rack right there, which is pretty cool. And there's some little sword, there's a mace, there's a pair of binoculars, and there's also a little weird snake weapon. And another thing on the inside, if you wanted to see, there's some more crates down there. That's the part I said is a bit more accessible, so you can get to the inside. There's also that light down there. There's not really a crazy amount going on inside the ship, as you can see, but I think it's pretty cool looking. And if you really want to, you can play on the inside of this very easily, so it's pretty cool looking. So we're going to move on to the upper deck. So moving on to the little roof part right here, you can see there's basically this part, which is the part that you pull out in order to get that deck out right there. And I used this little pirate ship sail from the Pirate Ship Ambush set, which was a Lord of the Rings set that came out in, I think, 2014 or 2013, I can't remember. And this is basically where the little upper deck piece goes, if you wanted to know. So that's where that goes, so we're going to take a look at that. Alright, so here is the top deck right here, basically the little area where you can steer the ship. And you can see the roof pattern right here. I just kind of made a little weird looking pattern right there. It is like that in the show. It's just kind of like a weird pattern up there if you take a picture and look at it. So basically you could just kind of take off this roof piece and it's easily accessible to the inside. So taking that off, you can see there's a little steering wheel right there, and there's a little control thing up here. You can see this little sticker detail that's on this side as well. And on the bottom, I actually made it so like a figure could climb up here, and I just put a little hole at the bottom with a ladder, which is pretty cool looking. And we could take Slevin, if you want to, and just kind of put him on the inside right here at this little spot where you can steer the ship. And you can see him right there. You could just kind of look through the steering wheel. He's got a little control thing going on up here with a little radio. So it's pretty cool looking. You just kind of put him right there inside your boat. And then take a look at him from the front. He looks really cool. And I think it looks pretty sweet overall right there. So we're going to take a look at some details, and then we'll move on to the ending of the video. Small detail that's kind of hard to get to is that there's a little weapons rack right here, the pirate sword and a big sword right there. That's just a little detail I wanted to show you guys, so it's pretty cool right there. Taking a look at the little rotor right here, I wanted to take a little in-depth look at this and how I built this, how I basically put a pole in and used this weird design to make it. You can see those little pieces I used on the inside. I was going to put all dark red on here, but I literally had 7 of these dark red pieces, but I could not find an 8th one. It was really annoying. So I ended up just using 4 gray and 4 dark red to use this, so you can kind of spin it anyway. It's pretty cool looking right there. So we're going to take a look at the little roof patterns, and then we'll end off the video. So I wanted to show you the roof a little bit closer. There's not really a ton going on with it, but you can see how like just has this little weird design with these curves and stuff like that at the top. You can see how I put some dark green on there. There's not really a ton going on, obviously. It's just for kind of extra detail and stuff. You can see how these are turned in, and they're just kind of sloped into the middle. So it's pretty cool looking right there. I think it's not too bad of a design. Obviously, it's kind of funky looking on the top, but that is what it looked like in the show. So I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. So, yeah. Alright guys, so that is basically it for this video. Thank you for 5 years of awesomeness so far on Croft Studios. I'm going to keep up the great work. Hopefully you guys are liking the stuff I'm producing here on my channel. And I'm going to keep making Ninjago MOCs as long as they have sets out for them, or as long as they have the show going on. Maybe I'll even make it when it's discontinued. Make my own custom type of Ninjago things. But I'll keep this stuff up. But thank you for 5 years on YouTube. It's been awesome. And I'm over almost at 3,000 subscribers already. Definitely almost a huge mark, trying to get there. And it's going to be a big goal if I end up making it there. It's pretty sweet. So I hope you've enjoyed this MOC review. So it's pretty cool. I think it's one of my better Ninjago MOCs. It's definitely the biggest of them all. And it's pretty sweet. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.